I do still personally think it's weird to have active discourse with 13-year-olds, especially after you find out that they are still underage. MrBeast update for the record. He's posted about the Ava Tyson situation. Over the last few days, I've become aware of serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online. I'm disgusted and oppose such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. Yeah. Third party investigation? No, it's just like he is MrBeast is a massive international brand.
Yeah, this is the same thing that like ExxonMobil does. You hire a law firm that does an investigation, blah blah blah.
Because the thing is, Jimmy knew ChatGPT. No, this isn't ChatGPT. This is like an actual good lawyer that no.
This is a lawyer that you don't get from Twitter.
Yeah, this is not Elon Musk style situation. Most written with legal advice ever. Yeah. So this is straight up like a swift exit. And I mean, what the fuck else is he supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to do anything else in this circumstance. He's gonna conduct an investigation. I mean, it makes total sense, given not only what the actions are, which is like weird text messages in a Discord server where there's like minors present. I think one of the minor who came out, who's like now 20, was like, I was not predated on, I was not groomed, but it doesn't matter. Like the messages speak for themselves. And beyond that, the fact that Ava is trans, of course, does not help cause any sort of sympathy from anybody that looks at that, regardless, especially because it was like greatly boosted by a lot of people. It was greatly boosted by a lot of people that immediately jumped on it to be like, yo, this is every trans person is a groomer, pedophile. We got it. Like we found it. So it was, even if what she said wasn't gross, which I don't think that is, I think what she did was gross for the record. But even if what she did wasn't even gross or inappropriate, weird, like having conversations with a minor across the board, people would have still made this a PR nightmare regardless. And it happens to be a situation where it is like, it does absolutely hit like the weirdness shit. The Shad allegations are an entirely different story. It's like, that's the type of shit that like I find personally unconscionable and gross, and it's like lolly is completely unacceptable. Except, you know, ain't nobody's taking down all these people who apparently were all associated with Shad. Like literally every content creator in the fucking edgy meme space is. Keemstar has apparently been understandably on a tear against anyone that has done business with Shad because Shad drew sexual art of that is the one, like, that is perhaps almost equivalent to all of the other allegations and all of the other crimes that, from what I understand, this fucking dude engaged in, which is making Keemstar a valid victim. Okay? Because Keemstar absolutely is a valid victim in this situation. It is completely inexcusable. It is completely unacceptable. Like, I can't even imagine how that is like how brain broken are you that you think, how brain fucking broken are you that you think that that is like remotely appropriate to do? Like, you're just, it's not even edgy at that point. It's just like, you're freak shit. That's it.
I think any parent would have the exact same reaction, or at least I hope they would.
Yeah. It's the name of the dude is Shadman, I think, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. In 2017, Shadman was actually way more popular than anybody drawing lolly should have been. In an unrelated note, that's when the Nazis were popping off as well. Yeah. Isn't he also a Nazi? He's like a Nazi pedophile, right? Shad was arrested at one point for tracing CSAM to make Lolly.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. It's just like, it's just ridiculous. But of course, like I said, there are a lot of people who are looking at this to be like, see, I told you all trans people are groomer, pedophiles, like the weirdos, whatever the fuck. And those guys are fucking freaks. In the immediate aftermath of Dr. Disrespect's story, nobody went around and went, every white man is a pedophile freak. Okay. Like you have this weird tendency. A lot of people have this weird tendency when it's like a black person doing a crime. Oh, this is how all black people are, is like the immediate reaction. Whenever a marginalized community member does something that is inappropriate or, you know, completely illegal, right? Everybody fucking jumps on the bandwagon to be like, everyone is responsible. Every person of this background has done this. And you know, it didn't happen with Cody Co either. Ain't nobody fucking ran around saying all white men are doing this. It doesn't even happen in terms of like all YouTubers in general, even though many YouTubers have been caught doing this kind of shit, or many streamers in general have been caught doing this kind of shit. So it doesn't work that way. Obviously, when you're a marginalized person, you are absolutely held to a different standard. And that is precisely what people are trying to do. All DJs though, ... Yeah.
I don't think David Guetta has ever done anything bad.
Yeah, he fixed racism.
Yeah. David Guetta united the country.
Yeah. It was awesome when he destroyed white supremacy.
Yeah. He has such a good look for like a 57-year-old French man.
I'm not gonna lie, if you're an adult interacting with minors on Discord, Twitter, etc. on a daily basis, is very weird. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't. Like, is that comment that Jimmy made about Bad Baby real? Yes, of course. That's the other side of the story, is that like he and Ava were like very, like they were all fucking 2016, 2014, 2015, 2013. They were all edgy. They were all like super edgy content creators that had like made pedophilia jokes all the time. The problem is, for Ava at least, she had not come out or even recognized that she was trans back then. So of course, when they were popping off, they were defended and seen as like edgy white boys. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the difference. Wasn't MrBeast 11 in 2016? Yeah, they were young as fuck. But like, yeah, that's the other side of it. It's just like they're still kind of young, if I'm not mistaken.
In general, I just don't like the idea of like holding people's like public posts they made when they were like 16 against them, you know?
Yeah, they were 16 in 2016. People forget Mr. Beast with PewDiePie staying during the Felix weird Nazi arc. Yeah,
I didn't have that.
What?
The weird Nazi arc? I'm kidding.
Wait, what? I don't know.
Because his name's Felix. I like doing.
Oh, you did the classic Felix bit. Yeah. Oh my god, chat does that every time, dude. Every time they're like, "XQC's coming on the stream," and it's like, yeah, dude, XQC's coming on the fucking stream, dude. Not. Oh my god.
I didn't do that.
Chad is from Switzerland, got an art scholarship, but had a public portfolio his school found and literally had him arrested and expelled. So he started drawing anything for money, and that's how his edgy persona developed, alienated himself to extreme. I know this because I was a Newgrounds kid.
You have to be so weird for like the Swiss to exile you.
Yeah,
if you're one of them.
Fuck?
That's they probably that is probably like the capital of Eyes Wide Shut shit, Switzerland. And they were like, this is too fucked up for us.
Yeah. 20 talking to kids is nasty though. 100%. Yeah. You will never. I will. That's insane. I will never argue against that.
Right. No. These are like two different thoughts.
Like I don't know who you would be speaking to in that situation. Because I'm not like, no, you know, it's acceptable actually. Like, no, it's not. It's completely unacceptable. MrBeast associate has been accused of sending inappropriate messages to a minor, but according to the individual and those who worked with him, nothing untoward happened. Okay? On Tuesday, Ava Tyson announced on X that she would permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media. Now, I want you to understand something. This is the difference between journalism and reactionary fucking shit stirring. Okay? Obviously, my analysis over the situation is not changed, regardless of the perceived victim coming out and saying, no grooming happened. What the fuck are you guys talking about? This is ridiculous, which they did. Lava GS openly stated that. Okay? But having said that, I do still personally think it's weird to have active discourse with 13-year-olds, especially after you find out that they are still underage. So my position on that has not changed. But it is odd that these people didn't even like go after. These people did not even like for a moment go, well, think about the victims. They immediately went. They immediately went and started launching attacks against like whatever their fucking favorite content creator is to shit on, because they never cared. Anyway, but let's continue. The longtime collaborator and the man behind the 305 million subscriber YouTube kingdom, with its own line of Walmart sold chocolate bars and videos that pull in hundreds of millions of views. Donaldson issued his own statement on Wednesday night saying he's aware of the serious allegations and has taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. He also stated he would be launching an independent investigation into Tyson's actions. The apologies come in the wake of a flood of new and revisited allegations looking into the 28-year-old's behavior on social media over the past decade. Tyson is a trans woman and has been target of anti-LGBTQ harassment since her transitioning in 2023. This is correct. Recently, videos have claimed that starting in 2016, Tyson, who was 20 at the time, had been interacting online and exchanging messages that included sexual content with a user named LavaGS since they were 13 years old. Lava, who is now a 20-year-old editor, also took a job with MrBeast and visited the MrBeast compound. Some online have felt Lava was groomed because of their interactions. Neither the Donaldson nor Tyson returned a request for comment before publication. In a series of follow-up tweets, Tyson shared that they have never groomed anyone and specifically mentioned Lava. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable, Tyson wrote. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. Lava backed this up by tweeting, I am not a victim. Nothing bad happened to me between me and Chris, and people are creating lies around my name. This is the victim in question, for the record. I'm not a victim, and I'm not backpedaling any statements I've already made. Everything I've stated is still very true. Nothing bad happened between me and Chris. People are creating lies around my name. Yesterday, while under a lot of stress from trying to get my story out as quickly as possible, I made a mistake and included 2 videos in a tweet that had nothing to do with my situation. Here are the correct videos, and these ones should be taken down. I apologize to creators of our original videos in the first screenshots, at you too, and no sense to society. Okay. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Lava said he believes that the 2 creators who originally made videos on the subject twisted his story and misinterpreted him in order to push their agenda. Rolling Stone also spoke with those 2 creators who deny any wrongdoing, believing that Tyson's actions needed to come to light at any cost. Lava has been a fan of MrBeast since the early days of the channel, posting a screenshot of the channel's 50,000 subscriber count on Twitter in 2016 and earning a MrBeast signed butterfly knife for being a top donor with just $20. That contest earned him a Twitter follow from both Donaldson and Tyson. Around that time, Tyson's social media persona was edgy. In 2017, she posted images online and on her wall appearing in a MrBeast video of lolly, or drawn child porn, from controversial internet artist Shadman, which I think is gross, by the way. But I do have an entire list here somewhere of like all of the people. Where is it? All of the people that have like been associated with Shadman, and it's pretty fucking wild. Like it is a massive, like it is a target-rich environment, a list of shame, if you will. Lolly is devious shit. I agree. As a 13-year-old, Lava had been tinkering with newly released messaging app Discord, learning how to make servers and bots. Chris reached out to me and saw I was making a Discord for people. Lava says he was new to it and wanted a bot that could play lo-fi study music, which isn't hard to do. Using what he knew, Lava built Tyson a Discord server for close friends, and he just ended up staying in it and running it, Lava says. According to Lava, Tyson did not pay for the creation or maintenance of the server, and he did it solely for the fun of it and helping build a community of fans for MrBeast and Chris. Lava claims that Tyson was unaware of his age until 2018, though couldn't remember the specific details and how it came up. In 2018 and 2019, the pair would play games and communicate in private on Discord. They would also talk publicly on X, formerly Twitter. Great rebranding, by the way. Shouts out to Elon Musk. Lava would call Tyson big boy, dad, sexy, and at one point asked her to be his Valentine. In one reply, Lava asked Tyson about her hentai addiction, referring to drawn anime pornography, and in another shared image of Tyson's computer from her social media with the caption, "This is a bad way to hide your hentai." Though Tyson's side of the conversations have been completely deleted, about 24 of Lava's messages remain up on X. In one interaction, Tyson tweeted an image of her Patreon and said that if she could get one more sign up, she would be releasing my nudes. Lava replied with, "I'm your first Patreon, big boy." And Tyson responded with, "I posted some fire nudes for you. Please no share." In parentheses, no nudes were shared. In a Discord server for gaming YouTuber The Do, Lava posted an image from Tyson's group chat of her in front of an American flag with the caption, "Coming for America." To others, these conversations look inappropriate, but it was nothing out of the ordinary to Lava. "I was at the age where I spoke to all my friends like that," Lava says. "There was nothing more than that. It's how bros talk. I saw Chris as an older brother because he reminded me a lot of my older brother." For the record, this is somewhat significant. I don't know what the proper way to address this is when someone is like a public figure. This is actually a like new territory, but we're talking about someone who's a public figure, but was a public figure as a male presenting, if that's the correct way to explain it, like assigned male at birth, right? So the analysis or the way to like explain it, stop defending this shit. I'm not. What the fuck is wrong with you? What? No, dumbass. I'm talking about how you talk about like a trans person who and their actions online pre-transition. This has nothing to do with like a defense of anything. No. You usually use she retroactively still, but I don't know what the appropriate way is when you're talking about like something that kind of changes the dynamic a little bit. You know what I mean? Pre-transition, identified as male at the time. I guess that could be good. I'm asking my chat, like, what do you do? Anyway, there's nothing more than that. It's how bros talk. I saw Chris's older brother because he reminded me a lot of my older brother. This is talking about Ava Chris Tyson, but this is like, you brought this up during the Elliot Page thing too. I think intention is everything. Yeah. He was 20. He was 20. She was 13. No, she was 20. He was 13. Asmon Gold fans in the chat just want you to say they're a groomer pedophile. Yeah, I know. Anyway, the reason why I suspect that the Rolling Stone article is showing that is because there are other straight men involved in this story that are not getting the same kind of coverage as Ava Chris Tyson is. And the reason for why there is a different distinction is because, well, one, how inappropriate their continued conversation is, but also because she's trans, obviously, and right-wingers claim all trans people are pedophiles. Having said that, however, like I've mentioned before, I find it still gross to talk to a 13-year-old online continuously. In May 2020, Lava says Tyson helped him land a job as a production assistant on Beast Gaming. Lava was a moderator on the channel's Discord and Reddit, sometimes appearing in videos and helping out behind the scenes. That July, Lava visited MrBeast's compound in North Carolina, posting a picture on X with Tyson, Donaldson, as well as Trey Yates, who edited for MrBeast from 2018 to 2021 and was the one who hired Lava. It did Dr. Disrespect in? Okay, no. This is entirely different. You have to... Okay. This is actually one aspect of the conversation that I forgot to mention. The reason why this is not the same as Dr. Disrespect is because the victim in the Dr. Disrespect situation, who was also a minor, reported Dr. Disrespect's inappropriate messages to the Twitch portal, which caused Twitch to take action against Dr. Disrespect. The victim, the alleged victim of grooming in this circumstance, has only done the opposite and has once their conversations were made public, turned around and said, I was not groomed. I literally work with the MrBeast people, and that it is like, you know, this wasn't like a sexual thing at all. Like 2 years later, no, because Twitch didn't fucking know what the messages were until that victim in that circumstance reported it to Twitch, because it happened when the sequence of Me Too allegations were coming out on Twitch. That is a major difference. What? So we're literally hyper focusing on the trans person, and you're continuing this narrative? Like literally you're continuing only focusing on her when it's clear it was them all? Wait, what? Weird but trans. I don't think you understand anything that is going on, so I'm just going to not even respond to you at all, and we're just going to keep going. Lava tells Rolling Stone that he and his parents would stay at a campground every year, which wasn't far from the compound, and that his parents joined him on the visit. Yates, who was also the one who hired Lava at Beast Gaming, shared his side of the story to Rolling Stone. He came to visit because he knew Ava from playing games online. Yates says, Ava wanted Lava to work for the MrBeast Gaming channel, and we were happy to bring him in and pay him. Okay? So Tana is also not a victim? Great question. We would not know anything about the Tana situation, which is ironic because it's very similar to the Dr. Disrespect situation, if Tana hadn't come forward about it. So that is, once again, not in the same column. Having said that, however, you're talking about statutory rape and comparing it to an adult having an extended conversation with a minor. These two things are different. One is weird and gross. The other one is called statutory rape. Okay? Like, they had sex. Cody Ko had sexual intercourse with a 17-year-old when he was 25. And also, the victim in that circumstance, 8 years later, came out and talked about it. I'm saying you're continuing to hyper-focus on Ava, man. I know what's going on. I'm not a baby. Okay, if you're not a baby, stop behaving like a baby. Let's continue. On the grooming allegations, Yates saw the way Lava and Tyson interacted and didn't think it was strange or out of the ordinary. There was never any hint of indication that something like that was happening, or even, albeit blatant proof that something like that was occurring, he says. Lava stopped working for MrBeast Gaming in May 2021, though he and Tyson remained in contact. In July 2023, Tyson came out as trans, which caused a flurry of conversation on the right. One right-leaning creator who had thought about Tyson happened to be Prism42, a YouTuber with 800,000 subscribers, who had found the message between Lava and Tyson on 4chan, though it's unclear how they ended up there. It's not that unclear. Prism felt needed to get his information out, so he claimed he contacted 50 creators, including Turning Point USA CEO Charlie Kirk. Ironic, because even Charlie was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I hate trans people, but like, what? To Catch a Predator host Chris Hansen and YouTube documentarian Mike Klum. There was also EDP445, a creator who in 2021 was caught YouTube vigilante string operation messaging a fake 13-year-old. Klum is currently making a documentary about him. Prism began to message me directly with vague details about an unnamed creator who will be exposed, and he wanted to see if I could help him. Klum tells Rolling Stone, given the nature of the accusations, I said I would take a look if he sent them to me. He began to send me more information about Ava Tyson and what seemed to be generally available screenshots or details that weren't actionable given the work I do. Oh, it's not 800,000. It's just 800. Oh my God. When none of the reach outs gained traction, Prism took another approach. In an interview on the Chud Logic podcast, he said he wanted to emulate the undercover work of disgraced journalist James O'Keefe of Project Veritas. Wow, this guy seems like a fucking normal person and not a rabid right-wing freakazoid. He's going on the Chud Logic podcast, and he's bringing up an iconic figure, James O'Keefe. That's his idol. Wow. Anyway, abolish podcast, bro. Abolish it. Mine included. Fuck it. Anyway, let's continue. In June 2023. Hey, by the way, notice what this article is doing. Okay. It's called doing journalism. Okay. When you're doing journalism, even on issues that are controversial, weird, gross, or even damn near criminal, okay, you go to actual sources and you ask them questions, and you don't like make up your mind ahead of time and then just like fire off the hinges and then have the entire right-wing media cycle go out of control, being like, see, trans people are pedophiles. I told you. Okay? That's what people are supposed to do. There's an actual coherent timeline of events here and also sources. Anyway, Prism reached out to Lava in a message seen by Rolling Stone pretending to want to interview an anime fan and that it would be interesting because you worked on the MrBeast server. Lava did not answer that message. Dude, by the way, protect the victims guy over here who's like, I'm sorry, dude. You are not interested in actually like identifying what? You denied the Armenian genocide, a genocide of the past, while simultaneously screeching genocide now with your well-documented publicity. It's a form of recency, regional or ethnic bias. If you can find a singular instance where I've denied the Armenian genocide, I will give you $10,000 right now. If there is one instance where I have ever denied the Armenian genocide, I will give you $10,000. You dumb fuck. I have never denied the Armenian genocide. You fucking racist piece of shit. No clip chimps and no AI. Shut up, chatters. Jesus Christ. God, I have the fucking most. I sometimes have the most annoying community. This is one of those moments. Like, y'all are trying to have fucking fun here, but like that guy literally thinks in his mind that I've done this thing in order to make a point about like, in order to make a silly point, by the way, about like the ongoing and active genocide in Gaza. I love spending my birthday like this. My favorite way. Like, if you care about the victim, if you look at a situation like this and you legitimately think grooming has happened to a minor, this is not the way to approach the situation at all. If you, on the other hand, think trans people are pedophiles, and I got him, finally, I got one. I caught a situation that I can angle with pedophilic grooming towards a high-profile trans content creator that MrBeast has had the audacity to defend. Then you do this where you're like, oh, I just want to interview you. Anyway. For his next attempt, Prism contacted YouTuber Verdius, an 18-year-old with 600 subscribers, and had him reach out to Lava looking for an interview for an editor position. Verdius tells the Rolling Stone that he had no idea that he was being set up or that Lava had anything to do with Tyson or MrBeast. He was just looking for an editor. During the interview, Lava says the conversation started with editing questions but quickly devolved into a conversation about internet predators. Prism asked Lava to comment on a video from EDP445 talking about Tyson. On June 13th, Verdius and Prism each released their own video about the Tyson messages, though neither included information from Lava's interview with them. Prism repeatedly misgendered Tyson and included multiple factual inaccuracies, including claiming that the moment he was able to drive, Lava drove himself to the Beast compound, and that the coming photo was sent personally to Lava on Snapchat when Lava claims it was a group message. When reached out for comment, Prism called Rolling Stone fake news and hung up. I really think we have to rehabilitate right-wingers like we do. Like, read my last chat. You're missing some information on the story. I just made the greatest homemade margarita pizza. It's a shame your bitch ass can't taste this. It's a shame that you won't be able to speak because you're now permanently banned. Dumbass. Anyway. Oh, let's continue. Both videos went relatively unnoticed until July 18th when the YouTube commenter Adrox released a video aggregating the claims that became algorithmic catnip, currently sitting at over 1 million views. From there on, dozens of creators picked up the story, with the largest being Penguinzo, which is sitting at over 7 million views. Prism purposely left out context and did not ask me about specific situations, Lava said. There was nothing bad that happened at all. If I would have told him that, I would have basically invalidated his whole argument, which is why he never asked me these questions. On social media, Prism claims that Tyson talked inappropriately to a 13-year-old, gained viral traction. Anti-LGBTQ activists like Tristan Tate, his brother Andrew, libs of TikTok, have used this story as an excuse to push anti-trans rhetoric. The comment section under Lava's original tweet denouncing the claims is full of comments saying he was groomed and is a gay victim. What? Why did this... Dude, Twitter is so broken! Why is this taking me to MrBeast? Oh my God, I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. Oh my God, Twitter is so broken. I do think the alleged victim is protecting Ava a bit. There was clearly inappropriate communication between the two. There's receipts I saw on the issue podcast. No, I agree. I think that the communication between the two was completely inappropriate. I 100% agree with that. Is this the one? Nothing but pure unadulterated transphobia in the replies here. We can hold Ava responsible for her absolutely disgusting actions without needing to degrade the trans community. Yeah, it's just like... That's the link in the tweet you're trying to open. That tweet is responding to the link tweet. In the podcast with Chud Logic, Prism says, I don't believe men can become women with modern technology, but that's not a point I'm going to make because it's separate from the allegations. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Verdia said he tried to keep his coverage unbiased, but posts on Tyson's private Twitter of her son in heels, and that the fact that she followed the Church of Satan may have made him a little bit biased. For those with experience with Tyson, these serious claims seem to be getting co-opted. All of this is just your typical alt-right influencer trying to push something against trans people because they think they have something, Yates says. And that's the end of the article. So ultimately, my assessment, my original assessment, looking at like what I saw, looking at who was saying it, was correct, which is that I think that these back and forth interactions between a 20-year-old and a 13-year-old are still completely unacceptable. Having said that, however, this is not like the trans people are pedophiles narrative that the alt-right is desperately trying to fucking put forward. But they're trying to put that forward while clearly demonstrating that they do not give a fuck about the perceived alleged victim whatsoever, considering that the main quote-unquote YouTube commentators that wanted to fucking uncover this secret story as they presented it had no interest in hearing out the person that was supposedly groomed at all. Ha! Also, I personally think the lolly porn stuff is completely ridiculous, okay? Like, I think it's unconscionable. Except you know who loves that fucking lolly porn shit? All of these fucking weirdo Nazis, who Shatman was one of them, by the way. The guy that they're talking about was literally a fucking weirdo Nazi pedophile, and they all loved him. And they still love lolly porn. Who is Penguinzo? I think I've heard that name before. It's Moist Critical. That's his username on YouTube. Anyway, now that we did that, let's take a look at MAGA Mail. And also, there's a reason why I don't fucking jump the gun on every YouTube drama situation, just like I didn't jump the gun on Dr. Disrespect until he admitted that he sent inappropriate text messages to a fucking minor, which led to his banning on Twitch. Do you know why? When Dr. Disrespect was potentially a pedo and not like openly saying that he was trying to fuck a minor, in between the 2-day time frame or the 1-day time frame, I said, hold on, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say allegedly, because there's a difference between like immediately reacting to a situation and running the fucking table and trying to get a better assessment. Okay. Yeah. I mean, a lot of influencers were fans of Shad back then, including Susu JPEG and Jessica Negri. That's what I'm saying. It's like weird as fuck to me. I don't get it. But yeah, this is the Cope and Seeth YouTube that like have an incredible fucking thread of like all of the YouTubers who were fans of Shadman. Sky Williams, it says. I don't know who that is. Like defending, right? Who's Sky Williams? I don't know who this is. Right? Like, in my opinion, I'm on the fence completely. On the one side, I'm like, if somebody's creating art that acts out these sick, disgusting acts, does that keep them from making it happen? Or does it fuel it? It's non-quantifiable, but it's certainly fascinating. Don't apologize. It's jarring images. It's scary to see actual real people enjoy like that. Dolan Dark responding to Shadman over and over again, it seems. Elvis the Alien apparently responding to Shadman. Cosplayers. The only reason why I'm showing this is because a lot of this was just like a part of meme culture online. This does not normalize it. In my opinion, it was still gross and weird back then. I just did not understand what the fucking fascination was with like lolly creating weirdos. Okay. People love Shadman because he was LOL Rule 34, your favorite cartoon. And I'm unsure how many people knew of the lolly, but I'm sure plenty did. And people were wild on the internet back then, so I don't know. Is there an earthquake happening? Yeah. Also, in the process, due to Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast, like loyalty to Ava Tyson, until this moment, people are now punishing him with the same cancel culture bullshit. Fans dig up old content of MrBeast seemingly being racist and speaking on a 14-year-old bad baby. Let's be real. Would you put your dick in her? Like at this point, I think he was literally a fucking teenager. This doesn't excuse the content, but I'm just trying to reframe it so that people understand that it's not like he was literally a child. Shadman drew Keemstar's daughter, such a fucking creep. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. We talked about that yesterday. I think Shadman was arrested for trying to draw CSAM, child sexual abuse material, like trying to trace it, which meant that he had child sexual abuse material. And I believe he went to prison, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, no, he was arrested for stabbing a homeless man. What? If we can get him canceled for his comments on black people, maybe he'll make a video undoing the effects of urban renewal. I don't think that's happening anytime soon, big dog. Let's hear what Lud Mogul Mail had to say about it.
I don't sound like I normally do. I probably don't even look like I normally do. And the answer for that simple, I'm in Paris. I'm on vacation with my mother and my sister, visiting my French family. And I figured I can take a week off, no big deal. Nothing major is going to happen in the time that I'm gone. And in the week that I've been gone, Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race. I was featured on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which is cool. And there have been a bunch, and I mean a bunch of allegations about Ava Tyson. Now, bear with me here. It is 1:30 a.m. My family's sleeping. I'm doing the best I can. I got a damn MacBook with 800 tabs open because we're going to go through as many of the credible allegations as I was able to find and actually discuss, what is legitimate, what is not legitimate, how do you discern all that? And before we jump in,
this fucking son of a bitch was on John Oliver before me. It's Jover, Tim Pool, and now MAGA Mail. It's obvious that the type of content creators that they are, the type of content creators that they're having on this fucking show are of a certain ideological variety.
Into anything, it's worth noting, Ava is trans, but I'm not going to talk about that after this. I think it's pretty irrelevant, right? I'm just going to discuss what actually and factually happened.
Okay, that's definitely. I think Ava Chris Tyson being trans is a very important part of the story. It is part of the reason why there's so much reaction to the story. It is part of the reason why so many people are like yelling at content creators, including himself, over not covering the story fast enough. That literally is perhaps one of the more important parts of the story. And I think that, yeah, I don't know. I think it's not correct to say it's not part of the story. If it was not a part of the story, then every single person on the MrBeast franchise would be getting canceled for similar, if not the same level of communications, but like similar edgy humor that they've demonstrated. The right is very good at taking a story and splitting it into two stories in such a way that you can't talk about one without referencing the other. All right, let's continue.
The same that I did with the doc, the same that I will do with Cody Ko. You know, like all three of those people are white. I'm not going to make a point about them all being white. In the same way, I won't make a point about Doc being straight. In the same way, I won't make a point about Ava being trans. Don't think it's relevant. I'll just refer to her as she. And then the shit that she did that I think is bad, call it out the same. Anyway, jumping into it, the first thing, and I think the most egregious in like definitely factually happened thing is pertaining to lolly drawings, which is basically like, and I'm just reading here from an article, which is basically underaged art of girls, which is crazy to use the word art there, but there is a notorious lolly artist called Shadman, who I've like heard about in passing, but has a few big controversies under his belt. The first one is that he made like sexual art of Keemstar's 7-year-old daughter giving
like completely gross, completely unacceptable, like insane, okay? Straight up. And you guys know I am not a fan of Keemstar, okay? Keemstar is not a fan of mine. I consider him to be a truly abhorrent, toxic individual that is like, I mean, there's nothing else to say. It's just so unacceptable. That's it.
Donald Trump a blowjob. That's a real thing that he actually did that was out there on the internet because he lost a bet, which is a crime. Shouldn't happen. I don't give a shit what you think about Keemstar. It's just all fucking horrible things to do. And also drew art of Daphne Keene, who is an actress who was 12 at the time, and in the movie Logan being molested and beaten up. So really, the guy went from maybe drawing like Lolly, which is like supposed to be fictional anime 1,000-year-old dragon characters, to just like real children, human in the real world in sexual positions, which is like a fucking crime, at least in my book. So anyway, that's Shadman. That is the artist who did all this. And what is Ava's relationship to Shadman? Well, it seems like for years an avid follower or perhaps fan. And this video by Adrox distills it pretty well and talks, I'm just going to highlight a few of the key moments here about their relationship.
There are two versions of her in the show. In one, she's 17, and in the other, she's 10.
This is talking about a certain anime character.
Shadman posted a 10-year-old version stating, "What is this, and why do people keep sending me this?" Ava replied underneath saying, "Please, Shad, please. I believe everyone on the..."
Now, it's pretty obvious what Ava is saying there when she's writing, "Please, Shad, please." It's like, please make lolly art of this, which is like a generally weird thing to do. But that's not where it ends with the Shadman arc. It's pretty obvious based off a live stream that Ava did that she was a frequent browser of Shadman's website as well.
Ava will post a clip from their live stream where they accidentally visited Shadman's website. What's even weirder is that they gave him a shout out stating, "Shout out to Shadbase for having safe for work drawings today. I accidentally put up his website on stream."
Which is like, not only doing it, but then also like tweeting it out has a level of normalcy that shouldn't exist with a person like Shadman who draws the shit that he does, right? But the most egregious part of the relationship between Shad and Ava is a drawing that like people are theorizing might have been like contracted, like like she might have paid for, or at the very least bought a print of, and that's this drawing here that's blurred out.
Girl wearing a "Please be patient, I have autism" cap, pointing a gun at her mouth. She has a fidget spinner as an earring and a spade tattoo on her thigh that says BBC, which we all know what it means. On November 18,
We do all know.
Ava responded to a tweet from Grande and MrBeast stating, "This is coming from a guy who owns a shad-based drawing and has it as a centerpiece in his living room."
And now people thought that was a joke, maybe. Like some people maybe just read this as like edgy. You don't actually have a Shadman drawing. But it was later discovered this is featured.
Sorry, I've only been intermittently paying attention. Isn't this lolly shit illegal? Like it feels as if it should be illegal. It is very much not illegal. It should be, but it's not. It's literally I don't understand why people like some people crank to it. I think there's also a lot of people crank to it, which is fucking insane and gross and should be illegal. I think some people think it's like edgy again, which I still put in the same camp. Jail. This is like, I don't think you guys understand, okay? I don't think you guys understand something. This is very important. Before the online right collectively decided that every gay and trans person was a groomer pedophile, okay, they all loved making pedophilia jokes, making inferences to pedophilia, like behaving like they were pedophiles. Like every edgy person, okay, which happened to be predominantly on the right, libertarians and the like, loved this type of shit. When I try to explain this to you, there are some who might have even had in their own background and in their own time when they were, you know, behaving in this weird way. Perhaps maybe they also did similar jokes and shit like that. Now, you know, what's done is done. What's in the past is in the past. As long as you've like grown from that, okay, learn from your mistakes, recognize that shit is like weird as fuck and you no longer do that, that's fine. I never did it. I thought it was fucking weird, but I totally do understand like how normalized it was for a lot of the people who despised me back then, some of which still do it, by the way, like all the fucking lolly fans. Like, it's hilarious because we're talking about like lolly. We're talking about lolly, right? Like, and how unacceptable and inappropriate it is. Asmongold was talking about the Chris Ava Tyson situation. I don't know if he actually brought up Shadman, but he literally every day watches a lolly VTuber describe all of the latest and greatest in the fucking Gamergate world. So like, how do you exist in this space where on the one hand, you're like, man, this lolly shit's weird and gross, okay? While you literally watch like a lolly YouTuber, a lolly VTuber on a daily fucking basis. So I just don't get it. Maybe some of it is acceptable and others are not. Like, I don't know what it is. I find it all very strange and gross, for the record. Okay? I don't think it's appropriate. I think it's weird as fuck. Straight up. Isn't lolly VTuber redundant? I mean, yeah. No. Yes and no. I don't fucking know. I think there's differences. Like, lolly and Shota for that guy. Apparently, Shota is when it's like lolly but male. What? Oh, this.
So the Gamergate situation roars on, and today we have some more game journalists to laugh at because there's been a...
This is the guy that Asmongold watches every fucking day, by the way. So, like, I don't get it. I actually don't understand it. Because if you go on Twitter right now, there's people being like, bro, that's gross. Shadman? Like, I can't believe Ava Chris Tyson was commissioning Shadman, which I think is gross and weird. I do, okay? I do. But you can't say that if you're fucking watching lolly VTubers on a regular fucking basis and simultaneously have, like, a lolly VTuber avatar or some shit. Have the fucking Nazis on the Nazi website, Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now it's called X, nobody calls it that, have lolly groiper PFPs. What are we doing? Like, what is it? It's just like, it's cool when you do it. It's not cool across the board. Don't. Yeah, little Nazi lolly avatars with SS's on them being like, yeah, what the fuck? Speedrunning Hasan's collapse in humanity on his birthday part 2. Anyway.
In a actual MrBeast video. It's like a MrBeast like buying my friend or pizza driver a home video. And here is that exact drawing you can see in the corner that I assume is Ava's drawing that was in this home. So like not only was talking to Shadman on
What? Lolly PFPs are fine. It's people sexualizing them that is the issue, but also Japan is doing nothing to stop this. No. Lolly PFPs are not fine, man. What the fuck?
on Twitter, like pulling up the website on stream by accident, but even like buying the prints of this dude who is literally just drawing child porn. Like there's no other way. He's just doing that. So this is 100% true. This 100% happened and is fucked up. Is a bad thing to have in your past. And so if you've seen anything of that happened. Moving on, next allegation. Because again, these all kind of like came crashing down, similar timing. I feel like once the first allegation caught wind, a bunch more got added too. And another one that's just 100% factually true is like an old video of Ava where she shares revenge porn pics of Jeanette McCurdy from iCarly. I'll just play the clip here.
How's it going, you guys? So maybe tomorrow, because Nickelodeon has that kind of power. But the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it. First off, what I have to say.
And then,
by the way, this is like literally what I was saying earlier. Like, this is weird as fuck, right? It's weird as fuck. This is from an era where both Ava Tyson and MrBeast, and I don't know how to like correctly cover this, but they were, MrBeast still is male, but Ava Tyson at the time alongside MrBeast were like they were like edgy young YouTube white boys. Okay, it's not to say that I'm not saying Ava Tyson is a man or a boy or anything. I'm simply saying that like their outward presentation at the time was edgy white boys. And it's still bad. And it was bad back then. Okay. But like, understand that all of these people who are currently yelling at Ava Tyson are still edgy white boys online. You know what I mean? Fucking got the shit out of that bug. So like, this is, this is like the weird dynamic. It's like, anyway, let's continue.
And Ava goes on to say that like you shouldn't share revenge porn pics and it's like wrong to do, and people like Perez Hilton are bad for doing it. But then like does it. Like just says and presumably put the link to just pornographic pics of Jeanette McCurdy in the description of like I'm assuming a YouTube video here. So this happened. It was a weird thing to do. It felt like it was an attempt at being journalistic or thorough, but was actually just a fucked up thing to do. So that 100% true. Next, there are these screenshots and screen recordings of tweets that are going around that have a bunch of likes and views on Twitter. And I'm just going to share them here real quick. You can see, "We could play Fortnite. I beat you last time." This is the presumably 14-year-old who was talking to Ava, who was allegedly 18 at the time.
Yeah, this is fake, isn't it? This was just like, I think some of these were fake. Yeah, they just like made fake. It wasn't enough. Like the weird shit can't just stay weird. You have to also just like push further to like really drive home the wedge and really drive home the narrative. It says "today" at the top. Like, oh my God.
And then, "You don't want anything expensive for your birthday? I could spoil you. I don't know. It's fine." These messages are just fake. these are just 100% fake Twitter messages. I don't know how so many people got tricked into believing them.
How?
They literally.
How, Ludwig? How do you think? You remember the thing that you said you weren't going to mention any longer after the beginning of the fucking story? That's how. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $6 or for free with the Twitch Prime. And also because Ava is trans. So, of course, it's called motivated reasoning. This is being reported by Keystar, who literally killed someone. Yeah, that's another part of this story. Anyway. People have biases, and they love having their biases be reaffirmed, be confirmed. Okay? Keemstar killed someone? Yes. Urged someone to kill themselves, which then they ended up doing. Yes, Etika. Rest in peace. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. Okay.
He says today, like on the screenshot with these messages, which is impossible, because how would the screenshot, even if the person, you know, the kid or whatever were to have screenshotted it today, like 8 years ago, it says Ava Chris Tyson, and Ava did not transition until years later. So if this is from 2020 and Ava didn't transition until 2023, how is it possible that the screenshot?
They did it with Dr. Disrespect too, but hey, I guess it's motivated. No, they didn't do it with Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect did it to himself. Okay? What are you talking about? What are you talking? Half the fucking people that are chirping online right now are still actively defending Dr. Disrespect. As a matter of fact, I go so far as to say that, like, the reason why they started yelling at, like, Pokimane and Valkyrie and shit was because they had the audacity to say yuck or Dr. Disgusting. So they came down and were like, immediately start talking about how every trans person is a pedophile, or we will fucking kill you. You're hypocritical. You're hypocritical. You're hypocritical. They are using this to defend Dr. Disrespect. Okay? These fucking freaks do not give a single fuck about victims. Holy fuck, they need to rot on 4chan where they belong. But they're not on 4chan anymore. They're on Twitter. Anyway.
Existence as today. The answer, because it's
that chatter has a lolly pic confirmed. Wait, really? No shot. Shut the fuck up. Where is the chatter? What is the username of that fucking chatter?
fucking fake. And it's even just fake by reading it. I mean, look at this shit. It's Ava going, I love you. Oh, I meant I love playing Minecraft with you. Obviously fake. Insane that people believe this. I think a lot of people honestly are people who might have just hated Ava.
Yeah, I wonder why. Why would that have happened? Did they precog that she was in chat rooms sending weird messages to 13-year-olds? No. They didn't precog that. No, because they're fucking transphobic. That's it.
And then trying to find a reason to hate Ava. There are valid reasons to do it. Like the Shadman one, right? Like the Jeanette McCurdy thing. That is a valid reason. You don't have to make up shit. I think that's pretty fair. Don't make up shit to be mad at someone for when there's legitimate shit to be mad at them for, right? The next one is a Snapchat conversation that's been going around that has just like a few sort of out of context messages, just like saved messages, archived messages from Ava. One of them is like sharing that Belle Delphine is going to sell bath water. Another one is just saying, thanks, Dad. And this is a trend we'll see later on. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's something that Ava does a lot. And then just other conversations, like vague posts.
That's
Nothing
not
too weird, but
bro, that's not a lolly avatar, okay? Impossible. When you playing 5v5, I'm playing 5v5 on Saturday, chatter. Why are you even defending her? I'm not. I don't know how many different languages I need to fucking say this, okay? I think it is completely fucking inappropriate to be messaging 13-year-olds online, okay? Especially after you find out that they're 13 and you continue a conversation, okay? Having said that, however, this would not be a fucking story if Ava Tyson had never come to terms with their gender, okay, and came out as trans. If you think that this would be a conversation that would drive discourse for this long, okay, look at all the other people. They don't give a fuck about the Cody Co situation. That one, there's like literally a crime that took place. It's outside, it's beyond the statute of limitations in the state of Florida, but like a literal fucking crime took place and people don't give a shit. There's like, they don't care. Okay. I'm so confused. Is Chris her dead name? No. So I think because she is a public person with a massive profile and was like known by the name Chris, she did this thing where she made it her middle name. And I think it was because, Chris with a K and not Chris. I think it's just accommodation, okay? Trans people have to do a lot of this stuff in general. They shouldn't have to, but they do. And I think for her, she especially had to do it because, you know, she was a public person for longer as a male presenting individual than a trans woman.
In mind, these are snap conversations with like a 14-year-old when Ava was like college age, I believe like 19 years old. And these are 100% legitimate. It comes from this guy, Young No Name, and said after posting these pictures online, I'll only say that in regards to the Snapchats and messages that went crazy that I took down, it is weird to send those messages to a 14-year-old because Young No Name was 14 at the time, but it never went past the edgy jokes at all. As for all the other stuff, I can't say. And then went a little more defensive today and said most of these texts by Chris Tyson were taken with no context and they did not go further than the jokes in the snaps. Chris could have been replying to anything I sent.
Excuse, he was calling you guys out and was hanging out with Cheezer. Yeah. I mean, dude, if you're a kick streamer, you don't have a say in this conversation at all, okay? If you're a fan of kick streamers openly, like, you have no say in this combo. Like, see yourself out of this fucking conversation. Walk right out of this conversation, okay? Get the fuck out of here. Like, what are we talking about, man? Are we serious?
There's no bad intention of the messages between us. The other stuff I cannot speak for.
That's so
basically
funny.
Saying, like, after posting the messages himself,
yeah, the strangest thing is how kick streamers do pedo hunting streams, but never stream snipe each other. Yeah, I don't know. How do you not cross those streams ever? Yeah, it's just unique. It's a unique situation. It's just like, damn, man, I'm the best pedo hunter out there. And it's just like, seemingly there's so many on the platform that I'm streaming on. Okay. Does Rage count? No, Rage doesn't count. He's fine. He's chill.
it was just edgy.
Didn't you go to a brothel that got busted for underage workers? No, dumbass. No. I did not go to a brothel that was busted for underage workers. 14-month subscriber. How do you get this fucking brain broken? Edgy white boys, when you like pedophilic drawings, nice of Lud to experiment with the first underwater microphone. 14-month subscriber. How does this happen to your brain? Like, genuinely. Okay? They're bringing back the old hits. Yeah. No, dude. Every type of fucking slander on that avenue is just objectively made up. Okay? This drama is so old they can legally drive. This drama is so old. If people were if people were messaging this drama in Discord servers, no one would actually be afraid or be upset by it. He's a sub because he thinks it's awesome to bang underage women, Lamau. Yeah. I love that I went to a brothel that got fucking raided for tax evasion 10 years later. Okay? And people act like I'm Jeffrey Epstein. I was like, this is like, brothels definitely do a fuck ton of weird shit. Okay? For sure. Like a fuck ton. And sex trafficking does occur. It's just that like this one particular brothel that I did go to is like a tourist destination. And not only that, but also it's like it successfully sued the German, the German city of Berlin. Oof, guilty, Lamau. I've honestly never even heard of that platform. Yeah, guilty of going to a brothel that did tax evasion 10 years later. Yeah. was illegally raided and they won a settlement with the city. In a country where it's like legal and government controlled, for the record. Anyway. Yes, I went to the brothel to help them do tax evasion, for the record. Let the record show. That chatter you had up left? Oh, they did? They just dropped that in and left? How? Wait, no, I don't get it. Why would you give a shooter distance? Who Omega Law? Bronny can beat you, bro. Stop fronting. You still sling ads for Amazon? Why are you fronting? Gambling ads are crazy. Bro, you were literally calling a black man coconuts a few weeks ago. This guy is crazy. I can't get a beat on him that like his political ideology is like fucking all over the place. I would suspect that he's just like an average Destiny fan who, you know, stays subbed so he can avoid the top of the hour ad breaks and also hate better.
Jokes. But this is a trend of Ava sending edgy jokes to like teens, right? Like younger teens, excuse me, while being like, 19 years old, sending it to 14-year-olds. Because it didn't just happen with Young No Name. It also happened with this guy, Nathan, who made a video, and I'll just play a clip from here.
I was definitely uncomfortable at being called daddy by a 20-year-old. And even just thinking about it now, it's just uncomfortable.
And now you might be wondering, like, okay, how do you even end up in a position as like a 20-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever it is, talking to, 14, 15-year-olds? And it seems like a lot of this started from work. These are basically all people who at one point or another were part of like a Discord server and acting as Discord mods. Some of them got elevated to position of like MrBeast gaming producers who would help like basically build the Minecraft worlds that they used to use, or like setting up a Gmod server. So people who had like the technical ability and the free time that a fucking high schooler does were all added to like a private Discord server that later became a public Discord server where these edgy jokes were kind of shared. For the most part, almost all of these jokes and comments from Ava are happening in like group messages. But fact remains, Ava's still like around 20 at the time, and there are minors who are like around 14 who are seeing these jokes. Okay, so there's a history of Ava talking somewhat inappropriately to like minors who were like Discord sort of workers, employees, mods, I guess if you will. But the biggest accusation came with a guy named Lava. And I'll just read it out here. Chris Tyson from MrBeast has been messaging a male minor starting when the minor was around 13. This is Lava, and Ava was 20. The two constantly joke.
Lots of people praying this is the start of Jimmy's downfall. I doubt it. I mean, he's too big to fail. And also like this isn't even, he could just easily say this is his fault overall. And beyond that, the thing is, like, the only people that are angry at MrBeast are people who are upset that he like stood by Ava for as long as he did. Also, his audience has no fucking clue what's going on because they're 12 years old. Hasan, do you employ child laborers? Yes, my 38,000 chatters all labor for me.
Joked inappropriately with each other about hentai addiction, sending suggestive pictures, etc. They confirmed met up together when the minor was 16. So like the worst faith interpretation of this is Ava groomed this 13-year-old and then met up with them, right? What happened at this meetup? I think that is like the most obvious question. And this is definitely the biggest, and it's worth going through. So let's go through it together. Now, this all dropped from a video from this guy named Prism, which is a very hard video to watch.
Damn, look at that. Look at those shorts. Look at those shorts right there. Don't fucking scroll. Don't scroll up. Don't hide my fucking face. Son of a bitch.
necessarily of the messages, but because it is literally 43 minutes of this guy in a park bench with the messages printed out, reading the message and flashing it up for seconds at a time. And so I've tried to go through them, but there are a few different circumstances where
Crop me
Ava
again.
just says some out of.
Aren't there labor laws? How can these kids be working? I think it's because it's online for the most part. Like it just gets, there's no like actual regulation around it. But beyond that, we live in the United States of America. I don't know if you know this, but like Arkansas and many other states have actually lowered the child labor restrictions so that they can actively get the children to work in the mines once again, or at least like poultry factories and stuff like that. So, you know, there's like child labor is the doing of children themselves, to be fair. They yearn for it. They yearn for the labor.
Pocket stuff to a fucking minor. Now, the most egregious one is like Ava seems to have had this sort of like habit of calling everyone dad or at points daddy. And that also applied to like 13, 14, 15-year-olds. Like it would be the same if it was presumably talking to like a MrBeast member as it were talking to Lava here. Which is weird when you're 20 and you're calling someone dad or daddy.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Ludwig, I haven't even watched anyone else's drama coverage of this, but like I think Ludwig probably did the best job out of everyone else. He's really putting ASU on his back right here, okay? I mean, my man's got a degree in journalism and he's putting it to use, okay?
That's weird. Now,
watch Muda's. I would rather. I'm Brian. Kill me instead of watch Muda's video.
Originally got connected because Lava won a CS:GO knife giveaway from a MrBeast video, and so Ava was the one who like had the connection with those knives, got the contact information, sent it out. Later on, Ava was looking for like Discord moderators to help set up a Discord channel, and Lava, who had some experience in that, was like, I'll do it. And that's how the two originally got connected. Lava started doing work as a Discord moderator, moved on to doing work as like a Minecraft modder, would occasionally create like Gmod lobbies, basically just different tech stuff in the gaming world that would help for like the MrBeast gaming channel or just for Ava personally. And I've confirmed all of this because I talked to Lava directly. Now, in working with Ava, they ended up being in like the same Discord server that started as like a private, Discord server, which is where all these messages are from. None of these messages are from private DMs between the two of them, but they still contain a lot of inappropriate jokes, like this one here. Now, it's worth noting this is not like a private snap that Ava sent directly to Lava. It was part of a Snapchat group chat that they were both in, but fact remains, like, maybe you shouldn't just...
Greatest thing Hoscourt ever did was make it strictly 18 plus. Yeah. There was some fucking wacky ass ideas back in the day in Hoscourt, and I was like, no shot. You guys are fucking insane. They wanted to be like, oh no, we should be all inclusive. I was like, fuck no, dude. Listen, I don't have any control over Hoscourt whatsoever. I don't even know how to fucking ban people. It's for you, by you. But if you fucking, there was never a moment where I was like, nope, abso-fucking-lutely not, dude.
Just be in a fucking group chat with a 14-year-old who you've hired to be like a Minecraft modder, right? Your relationship should be professional, and that is it. And you can't talk like you would in a boys chat with all of your same age friends as you would in a chat with someone who you've hired who is 14 years old when you're 20. I think that's pretty fair. That's just a fact that Ava should not have talked in that Discord server like she did with minors present, all right? Especially minors who are like in that situation because they are working for you. A lot of the things that were said were just inappropriate. Like, it's just fucking, you shouldn't drop the coming for America joke when the 14-year-old's in this.
I suspect people will be like, you and Charlie should not be getting harassed for not covering this immediately. It's honestly just messed up. All discussion of this should just be going to Ava Tyson and their actions. People attacking you and Charlie for not immediately jumping to conclusions is crazy. The fact that he had to make this just to appease the crowds of people harassing him and Charlie for not speaking out about it when Charlie did on stream and Ludwig is literally on vacation is crazy. Yeah, it's like it. Right-wingers will look at this and be like, you didn't immediately say Ava Tyson is a pedophile and all trans people are pedophiles. So like, obviously this is not what we expected from you. You're still deep in the pocket is what people will say to Lud. And then they'll turn around and be like, oh, you're trying to appease the woke mob again. And what is appeasing the woke mob? Looking at a story like this and covering it with like the actual sensitivity it deserves, instead of immediately running and being like, no, all trans people are pedophiles immediately. I've made up my mind. Just kidding. I had made up my mind yesterday, and I made up my mind the day before, and today I'm also making up my mind on the same issue because that was my position. And actually, I don't really give a shit about the story at all. I just wanted to say trans people are pedophiles and then stand on that and, you know, yell at everybody who doesn't say that. Like, that's it. That's what the expectation was, because they're like, at no point did like any of the people who were like making this profile like ever actually turn around and like try to treat it with the sensitivity that it needs to be treated with, in terms of like, you know, talking to the victim. Like, if there's an alleged victim of grooming, you can't just like try to dupe them into your fucking narrative. Like, you have to literally talk to them and understand what happened and then take quotes from them. That's the difference between like someone actually doing investigative reporting and someone just like making a fucking YouTube video with the overarching goal of just being like, sensitivity. Yes, sensitivity. What do you mean? Yes. Grooming minors stories should be treated with sensitivity. Is that actually a shocking statement that I'm making? Is that what's going on at this point? Sensitivity is a absolute must when talking about any kind of sexual harassment, sexual assault. What the freaking what? Yes. Responsibility is woke and gay. Yeah, I'm the Chad. I'm the Chad, not understander.
The Snapchat group chat. Make sense? The Snapchat group chat shouldn't even have a 14-year-old in it in the first place. But Lava
Agreed.
refuted the claim that he was taken advantage of, or basically that he was groomed. He said these videos were massive lies, twisting the truth. Ava never did anything wrong, just made a few edgy jokes. The videos that he attached aren't actually the ones that...
Hasan is heavily indoctrinated. Yes, I'm heavily indoctrinated because I said stories involving minors, especially stories about grooming allegations involving minors, needs to be covered in an incredibly sensitive way, in an incredibly like just making sure that the victim is treated with dignity and their requests are listened to. I know I am a freak. It's a delicate issue. I am heavily indoctrinated by journalistic ethics, or rather, an understanding of the law. These are the things that have indoctrinated me.
That include the messages. It's totally different videos. But
also, at no point, at literally no fucking point, did I ever say that any of these actions were appropriate. And as a matter of fact, I have reiterated that it is totally inappropriate. You know? So it's not like when people go, oh, dude, why are you defending this person? You're an absolute dumbass. I am not.
I digress. Lava says not a victim. And how these videos and messages were discovered in the first place is also kind of wild. So the guy who made it, Prism, that video that I talked about, that 43-minute long video, faked a job interview to ambush the alleged victims and confront them. And when I asked Lava directly, that's exactly what he told me. In fact, you can see this is the DM from Prism to Lava, who said, my name's Martin. I would like to interview you. I want to interview an anime fan. I think it'd be interesting because you worked on the MrBeast server. I will pay you if you would like. Which was not at all the intention. You know, Prism obviously had some...
Like, that's not... You can't do that. Like, that's... It's done. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's not... It's over at that point. That's like... I don't know how to describe it to people who don't comprehend how super not allowed that is. Okay? Like, that's not, you can't lie and still maintain the idea that like you were doing this to help a victim of grooming. Okay? That's insane. Like,
inkling that there was like inappropriate messages and wanted to uncover them, but like went through it in a very like shady way. I don't know why he didn't just think to be forthcoming, but that is what he did. He also sat on this story for 1 year.
Or a year went by, and still the information has not gotten out.
And the reason is because he wanted it to go out through a different source and said that he reached out to 50 plus people. This video is a nightmare watch, but he reached out to, and this is a real list, Charlie Kirk, EDP, Oompaville.
what? Of course you're not. We all know you don't think that it's okay at all. The contrast and reaction is interesting. I would not categorize your coverage of other cases like this as sensitive or delicate, and I feel like that's because you have a predisposition to not like that person involved. Wait, what? I feel like sensitivity isn't your typical approach. I remember you're dancing when finding out about Doc. Brother, I wasn't engaging in investigative reporting. What are you talking about? Do you think I was reaching out to Dr. Disrespect's victim and lying about who I am and my background in an effort to out Dr. Disrespect? Some of you guys that think you are hyper rational literally are living on a different fucking planet. Sensitivity to the victims is what I'm talking about. I am dumb. Okay, well, I'm glad you recognize that. What the fuck? At no point was I the investigative journalist that was trying to seek out the potential minor victim of Dr. Disrespect. Okay? I even went so far as to talk to Slasher, who explained why more details could not be divulged to protect the victim, and I agreed. Yes.
Chris Hansen, Sam Hyde, and Chris Chan, which is weird. Why would you reach out to EDP to be the one to drop the news on Ava having inappropriate conversations with someone? That's the wrong guy for the job. I mean, that's like being down 2 points and giving Slime the ball for the game-winning shot. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, I was genuinely confused when I read the Rolling Stone article. This motherfucker actually reached out to EDP, or did I misunderstand that? Also, I don't appreciate the slime diss.
That's not the guy that you pick.
Yeah, I didn't dance when I was reaching out to the victim. I danced after fucking Dr. Disrespect openly admitted it. Okay.
Apparently also stalked one of the people to try to get them to drop this story. Again, this is all from their video. You can watch it yourself.
And so with the Chris Chan thing, I took me and my business partner and we went to Virginia. We drove halfway across the United States. We searched the Chesterfield Gateway homes because we believed he was there. That's where people speculated he was being held at. And we looked for Chris Chan. We did not see him there. It was a group home for mentally challenged people.
Dude, what the fuck? Just post this.
It's such a weird way for Prism to approach Lava, because it seems like the plan was to start talking about anime, then ambush Lava with questions about Ava. But I suppose Lava was genuinely a victim of grooming, which is what Prism thinks. How would that play out? You're going to spring that onto a grooming victim? Just goes to show Prism isn't actually interested in his to expose pedophilia, just to ruin a trans person's life. No, 100%. No, that's precisely what I'm saying. Like either he's objectively the dumbest person on the planet and literally did not think this through at all, or he had an alternative reason. for doing this. And I mean, he's pretty fucking stupid, but I think that there's still an alternative reason for doing this. Why are you saying this wouldn't be a big deal? What do you mean? Oh, I said if this was like an edgy white boy doing this shit, everyone would be literally calling out those like myself who would think this is weird and gross still. Okay? I'm not saying I think this isn't a big deal. I'm saying that I do think this is weird and gross, but the deal that was made on this is because Ava is trans. That's 100% what it is. And we know that because hella people were defending Dr. Piss Inspect. It's the same fucking people. That's why they immediately, just like Trainwrecks and XQC did, immediately were like, oh, you know who's actually, remember the fucking stuff with like, what was the dude's name? It wasn't, what was it? Misgift's friend? The dude who was like fucking weird and crazy slick. Thank you. Immediately, the first thing the XQC did was be like, Pokimane and Hasan didn't react appropriately to this. And then they fucking tried to pull me into this, like, this web. Do you guys not remember that shit? It's because you don't have any fucking interest in like covering a story. You're just using it like a nuke. That's it. So many people operate like this online. It's fucking weird and gross.
Screenshots in like a 45-second YouTube short, and that would get the job done. You don't have to do that. That doesn't. Why would you go to Christian of all people? That's insane. That's a whole other story. As far as Lava's opinions, it wasn't that, but I do think it was severely inappropriate conversations that you shouldn't be having with a 14-year-old. As far as the meetup,
the message I typed was basically XQC's point, so I could help you argue back. That is probably the dumbest thing you could ever do, which is adopt an XQC talking point and then present it as your own. But thank you, chatter. Like, you're not wrong. You are dumb, just like you admitted earlier. Thank you for helping me argue back.
That's the final kind of hole in this story. Well, I asked Lava about it, and it wasn't as nefarious as some people make it out to be. Basically, Lava's family, and this is from Lava directly, I talked to him, vacations in North Carolina and wanted to meet up to hang out with the people that he had.
Cody Co's victim was 17, Chris' victim was 13. Why are you comparing the two events? They're mad because they're trying to bang a 13-year-old, not because they're trans. What are you talking about? Bro, I hope you never have kids. Cody Co had sexual intercourse, statutory rape with a 17-year-old. Why are you trying to fucking justify this? What is going on? Is there like a brain trust somewhere where like the absolute dumbest opinions are coming into full display? What's happening? What's happening? What's going on? Like, one person committed a crime. What the fuck?
Been working for years. At this point, he was 16 years old, so he'd been working for the MrBeast team for like MrBeast Gaming for a couple of years at this point. So this is them in the RV. This is a picture that he gave me directly. Those feet down there are actually his dad's feet because he went with his family. So it wasn't weird in any way, shape, or form. He ended up working on a couple of MrBeast videos while he was there. I believe some Minecraft videos in the RV, but it was with his family. Nothing weird happened. It was totally just to hang out with the people that presumably he idolized, looked up to, and also worked for. Now, Ava has made an apology to all of these allegations, but because there are so many, this initial apology was shit. I mean, I'll just read it. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments. If it hurt or offended anyone, it was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we decided to mutually part ways. I think it's best I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. So it seems like, I mean, at least as far as now, it was a mutual decision to step away. I don't know if it was a quitting or a firing exactly. Some people love to say mutual when it wasn't. Well, this video.
Chatter saying it's not about Ava being trans, it is about a child being involved. So they're saying, how could you be comparing the two? Is that right? Yeah, but that chatter is also operating under the assumption that like Ava was trying to fuck this 13-year-old, or may have even fucked the 13-year-old, and I don't know what the fuck the chatter is thinking. Like, that's the difference. There is no evidence of Ava doing that. There's only evidence of the victim in this situation, the former 13-year-old who's now 20, being like, that never happened. Now, I don't know. Maybe they're fucking... maybe it did. I don't fucking know. But as it... Like, what am I supposed to do? Make inferences on my own? Like... What is this angle, bro? You're doing dirty. You're doing Lud dirty with these pauses, bro. I mean, come on. That's not my fault.
Video's being edited. MrBeast dropped a statement about it. He basically said that he was the one who fired Chris, which I thought might have been the case. So that is true. And that he's also doing a third-party investigation to basically see like what involvement it had with MrBeast Incorporated and what was just Chris by her own actions. So we'll see what comes of that, but just wanted to include this a little bit.
And it seems like a blanket I did it statement, you know, kind of because the PR talk and because it doesn't refute anything. Now, a couple hours later, Ava followed up and did refute the grooming stuff. But because it was later, look at the view difference. 33 million on this one, 1.8 million on this.
Yeah, that was also literally like that first tweet is basically like, yeah, that was like a Dr. Disrespect style fucking response, which was crazy. Like, how the fuck do you just fire that off? I think that's probably why a lot of people immediately went extra hard after too. I, on the other hand, was not aware of any of this shit when it was popping off because, once again, I was hiding the truth about YouTube stuff because I'm a big MrBeast fan. As you guys know, I've appeared in a lot of the videos, and I'm being sarcastic, but I think people will probably clip this and go, "Did you see? We knew it." And not because, as a political commentator, as a person whose job is to cover news, I have been talking actively about some fairly significant news. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of it, but I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of the stuff that's going on in the world, but Donald Trump almost got assassinated. And then Joe Biden dropped out of the race. And then Joe Biden endorsed Kamala Harris, who's the vice president. So